Welcome to another day of tracking what is now strengthened into Hurricane Laura. We got the surprise, I think it was today or in the middle of the day, where we saw this recon data ensured that this was now Hurricane Laura here at around 11 a.m. this morning. So let's go over the latest information from the system there. Current winds 80 mile per hour, middle central pressure of 990 millibars. Now that is about to change when we get that new update because Recon found a pressure of 983 millibars, which is showing this rapidly intensifying. Here's the latest. Moving west-northwest 17 mile per hour, so west-northwest. It continues to move in this general direction here towards the Louisiana-Texas border there. Here's the current, warnings from the National Hurricane Center. Laura moving west-northwest across the central Gulf of Mexico, expected to strengthen into a major hurricane before landfall Wednesday night or Thursday morning. And that is pretty major hurricane. That means Category 3 or higher. If you are anywhere from this point to this point, evacuate, guys. You could be looking at anywhere from a Category 3 to a Cat 5, and this is already 80 mile per hour. It still has at least 1 to 2 days to strengthen, and it could make landfall as at least a Category 3. So really get your preparedness plan ready for this system. But let's first look at the National Hurricane Center track. So as you can see there, here's where it's currently located. Expected to remain Category 2 until 1 p.m. Wednesday, still being a Category 2, and then strengthening into a major hurricane Wednesday night into Thursday morning, making landfall Thursday morning at around 1 a.m. Hurricane warnings are in effect from the Houston area all the way to mid-Louisiana there. Now, keep in mind, it's expected to remain a hurricane until Arkansas, believe it or not, and remaining a tropical storm all the way almost into Missouri and then weakening to tropical depression. So tropical force winds could be felt all the way into Arkansas and even hurricane force winds. Then the National Hurricane Center does take this across the U.S., and believe it or not, it does reform it into a tropical storm, a post-tropical, but we could potentially see this becoming a tropical system there. Seems unlikely at the moment. Here's the rainfall potential for the system. And once again, the rainfall potential has went up significantly. We're now looking at up to 10 inches of rainfall here in Louisiana, and spreading at least 6 inches well inland all the way into, once again, Arkansas, and it's staying at least 4 to 2 inches, even 6 inches, all the way into Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania over there. So really, this is going to be bringing massive flooding to the entire eastern coast of the United States there. And really, we could be seeing tremendous flooding here in this area, where there's up to at least 10 inches expected from this major system there, which is something you extremely need to take into consideration. Flash flooding potential at the moment is 20% moderate, which means there's a slight chance of this, flash flooding potential. So really, once again, we could be dealing with some flash flooding. Here's the expected peak surge, 9 to 13 feet at the worst near Rim State Park there in Louisiana. So once again, we could be doing, imagine 13 feet of storm surge. That could go well inland, guys. Imagine 13 feet of storm surge. So please take this seriously. Here's a look at the infrared satellite imagery, and this is extremely worrying. As we can see on the latest frame, you can see that convection wrapping around, right? What happens when that convection wrap around, right? It's wrapping around, and as you can see, there's not as much convection in the middle. What happens when that happens? The entire really big band of convection is going to start wrapping around, and then we are going to be starting to have an eye forming. Here's the latest frame there. As you can see, we have those pink, purple, grays, black wrapping around, and then we have this area of a little bit less convection in the middle, which could soon become an eye, guys. And this is really wrapping around. It could soon be wrapped around, and then we have, this is the eye wall, as you know, and then we have the eye in the middle, and then the rest of the system. So we could soon be seeing this, having an eye. And just keep in mind, when you have black, pinks, purples around a a well-formed eye, that indicates a major hurricane. So we're not at that point yet. But if we do wake up tomorrow to a system looking like this, we need to be worried. We absolutely need to be worried. Here's the actual satellite imagery for the system, and similar story. We can't at all see an eye yet, but you can clearly see it really starting to wrap around there, and it's just looking really good right now. You can see the structure of the system right now, and it just it is looking like well into Category 1 status, with the low pressure system being around here. So it is a very healthy storm. We got a big band to the south there, some banding occurring to the north here, more banding occurring around here. So it is a very nice, healthy looking system there. You got that inflow, you got that inflow coming in here, some outflow. It is some outflow here. It is just really looking good. You can see those two bands there, so really looking like a very, very healthy system at the moment. Here's the current tracks, and the models are getting an agreement of this making landfall right on the Louisiana-Texas border. They're almost right there, So right now, in the next 24 hours, as you can see, it's going to be really making a spiral approach, and in the next 36 hours, it will be making a landfall. So like I said, it really only has another day and a half to strengthen. So you could think, well, it's not going to have enough time to strengthen into Category 3 last news. It is, guys. It is. So really take this into consideration. And as you can see, it does take it into the eastern pass of the U.S. and then going back over water where maybe it has a slight chance of reforming, but most likely it's still a post-tropical system. But I mean, we could see this really making landfall as a pretty major system, and there is maybe the track could shift a little bit more west. Maybe it will shift a little bit more east, but it will likely stay in this little cone I've made here. So we'll see, but there's still a slight chance it makes a direct landfall near the Houston area. So we're really going to have to watch this very carefully. Okay, looking at the intensity guidance, models have dropped a little bit. We have a whole lot less models showing this actually getting to Category 3. So we've seen a little bit of drop in the models, but almost every single model still bring it into at least Category 2 status. But we've seen a little bit of a drop-off in models bring it to Cat 3 here. Most likely due to, most likely due to how much time it's going to get and the possibility for some windier and drier by tomorrow. But my current expected track here, I do expect this to intensify into a Category 3, maybe Cat 4, but I do expect this to intensify into Category 3 and really weakening quite significantly. But I expect this to rapidly intensify into a medium to strong Category 3 hurricane with this system. So again, just my opinion, but we're really going to have to see. But the consensus of the models does call for a Cat 2 at the moment. So, be prepared for the wars. Be prepared for a Category 3 or 4. Even if you only get Category 2, it's better to be safe than sorry. Let's reload the recon flight here. We currently have a brand new recon mission in the storm here. And as you can see, it already found 70, at least 75 mile per hour. And they found, actually, believe it or not, the low pressure is not where expected to be. I expected the low pressure to be up there, but they actually found it all the way south of here. So not where we expected it to be, but here's where they found a low pressure system. I'm going to try to reload here. We're not getting anything from reloading. Let's reload here. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. As you can see, they did find 80 mile per hour winds once again with that peak of 75, and they found a pressure of 993 millibars, believe it or not. So it is really rapidly intensifying here. Last visit we had 990 millibars, so from 990 to 983, that is some rapid intensification there. And you can see that eye wall starting to build up with the eye wall here. As you can see, it's probably going to be around here. And then we have, decreasing winds in this area. We need to see this eye wall close up a little bit closer to the low pressure center here so that it intensifies a little bit quicker there, but still a well-defined eye wall here forming. And the eye wall is almost closed off. I believe there's only the western side here that needs to close off. If we go back to the satellite imagery, you can see here we have only this little part of the eastern side here that just needs to finish to close off the eye wall there. So a very good or healthy looking system at the moment, at least. from recon. And as you can see, they just made a pass on and it is less strong here. They only found up to it looks like 65 mile per hour, or I mean, yeah, 65. So right now the northern side here is less weaker than this other side of the eye wall here. And once again, if we compare it to the IR imagery, they just went through this part here, so we can see that the northern part of this eye wall seems to be a lot stronger at the moment, at least, until it continues to intensify. Um, so yeah, it is really, really trying to intensify there, but the other part of the eye wall seems to continue to be a little bit stronger. On to the conditions for the system. Right now, you can see where this is located. It is currently away from dryer. Now, this spot of dryer is what used to be tropical storm Marco there. You can see the rest of its cloud and convection here from tropical storm Marco. So really, this is the only dryer it's going to have to deal with once it gets to that landfall point. There's the potential National Hurricane Center did say this, that it does weaken slightly right before landfall. So let's say it's 150 mile per hour at landfall. There's a possibility it maintains at 150 mile per hour, or we can slightly to like 110 or 105 mile per hour. So really, this is the only thing. Otherwise, as you can see, lots of dry in the main development region, but it's really not expected to impact the storm whatsoever. It is also continuing to kind of suck in the remnants of Marco there. But other than that, some drier near Florida, but really nothing too major. We're not seeing this much drier near Marco, so it might suck in some dryer, but nothing that could really kill the system. Wind shear once again, very favorable, 5 knots, so really nothing to worry about wind shear. But once again, the problem is once they get at its nearest approach to land there, this is not only where we have the little patch of dry, we have very unfavorable conditions there as it gets there, right near where we also have dry air. So that's why National Hurricane Center has said maybe it could weaken or remain at the same intensity right before the landfall point there. So that's what we're looking at right now from this system here. Once again, here's a look at the recon data. But this could continue to rapidly intensify as we get on. National Hurricane Center. We'll have a last look here at the satellite imagery just to see if it has updated really quickly here. And once again, on the latest frames here, we can now see that the eye wall is finishing to close right here. It just needs that last little part there before being fully closed, and we can start to have the eye close out. So it's really looking good. You have those reds here on the outer side here, so very, very healthy system. By the way, those clouds here, you can see those are collapsing thunderstorms, but that is normal here from this system. We were seeing at some point this northern side here being a lot weaker, but now it's actually become, from what we know so far, the strongest part, unless they find this side or this side being a whole lot stronger than originally anticipated. Same thing here on this imagery here. You can see the latest frame here continuing to blow up in convection. Here and here you can see those. But that's it. This is going to wrap up today's video. Of course, I'll have another update tomorrow from the system. We could be dealing with a major hurricane by tomorrow night when I update you guys.